Hi everyone, welcome. We are about to read our next installment in reading the Bible through in a year in chronological order. We are still in the Good News translation, and tomorrow we will switch out to a different translation or version. But for now, today, we are still in the Good News translation, and we are still in the book of Numbers. So we will continue there. Today we're going to be reading Numbers chapters 11, 12, and 13. And yeah, thanks for coming and joining me. Let's get to it. The people began to complain to the Lord about their troubles. Oh, here we go. When the Lord heard them, he became angry and sent fire on the people, and it burned among them and destroyed one end of the camp. The people cried out to Moses for help, and he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So the place was named Taberah, because there the fire of the Lord burned among them. There were foreigners traveling with the Israelites, and they had a strong craving for meat, and even the Israelites themselves began to complain. If only we could have some meat. In Egypt, we used to eat all the fish we wanted, and it cost us nothing. Okay. Remember the cucumbers and the watermelons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic we had? But now our strength is gone. There is nothing at all to eat, nothing but this manna day after day. Alrighty. Manna was like small seeds, whitish yellow in color, and it fell on the camp at night along with the dew. And the next morning the people would go round and gather it, grind it, or pound it into flour, and then boil it, and make it into flat cakes, and it tasted like bread baked with olive oil. Moses heard all the people complaining as they stood around in groups at the entrances to their tents, and he was distressed because the Lord had become angry with them. And he said to the Lord, "Why have you treated me so badly? Why are you displeased with me? Why have you given me the responsibility for all these people? I didn't create them or bring them to birth. Why would you ask me to act like a nurse and carry them in my arms like babies all the way to the land you promised to their ancestors? Where could I get enough meat for all these people? They keep whining and asking for meat. I can't be responsible for all these people by myself. It's too much. If you're going to treat me like this, have pity on me and kill me so that I won't have to endure your cruelty any longer." Oh, drama. My goodness, Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, "Assemble 70 respected men who are recognized as leaders of the community, of the people. Bring them to me at the tent of my presence and tell them to stand there beside you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the spirit I have given you and give it to them. Then they can help you bear the responsibility for these people, and you will not have to bear it alone. Now tell the people, purify yourselves, for tomorrow you will have meat to eat. The Lord has heard your whining," appropriate, "and saying that you wished you had some meat and that you were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will have to eat it. You will have to eat it not just for 1 or 2 days, or 5 or 10, or even 20 days, but for a whole month until it comes out of your ears, until you are sick of it. This will happen because you have rejected the Lord who is here among you, and have complained to him that you should never have left Egypt." And Moses said to the Lord, "Here I am, leading 600,000 people, and you say that you will give them enough meat for a month? Could enough cattle and sheep be killed to satisfy them, or all the fish in the sea enough for them?" "Is there a limit to my power?" the Lord answered. "Good one. You will soon see whether what I have said will happen or not." So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. And he assembled 70 of the leaders and placed them around the tent. And then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke to him. He took some of the spirit he had given to Moses and gave it to the 70 leaders. And when the spirit came on them, they began to shout like prophets, but not for long. 2 of the 70 leaders, Eldad and Medad, had stayed in the camp and had not gone out to the tent. There in the camp, the Spirit came on them, and they too began to shout like prophets. And a young man ran out to tell Moses what Eldad and Medad were doing. Then Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' helper since he was a young man, spoke up and said to Moses, "Stop them, sir." And Moses answered, "Are you concerned about my interests? I wish that the Lord would give his Spirit to all his people and make all of them shout like prophets." "Amen, Moses." Then Moses and the 70 leaders of Israel went back to camp. Suddenly the Lord sent a wind that brought quails from the sea, flying 3 feet above the ground. They settled on the camp and all around it for miles and miles in every direction, so that day, all night, and all the next day, the people worked catching quail, and no one gathered less than 50 bushels. Holy. They spread them out to dry all around the camp, and while there was still plenty of meat for them to eat, the Lord became angry with the people and caused an epidemic to break out among them. That place was named Kibroth Hattava, which means graves of craving, because there they buried the people who had craved meat. From there, the people moved to Hazeroth, where they made camp. Moses had married a Cushite woman, and Miriam and Aaron criticized him for it. They said, "Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he also spoken through us?" Oh, siblings. The Lord heard what they said. Moses was a humble man, more humble than anyone else on earth. And suddenly the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, "I want the 3 of you, to come out to the tent of my presence." They went, and the Lord came down in a pillar of cloud, stood at the entrance of the tent, and called out Aaron and Miriam. The 2 of them stepped forward, and the Lord said, "Now hear what I have to say. When there are prophets among you, I reveal myself to them in visions and speak to them in dreams. It is different when I speak with my servant Moses. I have put him in charge of all my people Israel. So I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He has even seen my form, and how dare you speak against him?" The Lord was angry with them, and so as he departed and the cloud left the tent, Miriam's skin was suddenly covered with a dreaded disease and turned white as snow. When Aaron looked at her and saw that she was covered with the disease, he said to Moses, "Please, sir, do not make us suffer this punishment for our foolish sin. Don't let her become like something born dead with half its flesh eaten away." So Moses cried out to the Lord, "O God, heal her." The Lord answered, "If her father had spit in her face, she would have had to bear her disgrace for 7 days. So let her be shut out of the camp for a week, and after that she can be brought back in." Miriam was shut out of the camp for 7 days, and the people did not move on until she was brought back in. And then they left Hazeroth and set up camp in the wilderness of Paran. The Lord said to Moses, "Choose 1 of the leaders from each of the 12 tribes and send them as spies to explore the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelites." Moses obeyed, and from the wilderness of Paran he sent out leaders as follows. From Reuben, Shemua, son of Zakur. From Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori. From Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh. From Issachar, Igal, son of Joseph. From Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun, which is Joshua. From Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodi. From Manasseh, Gadai, son of Suzi. From Dan, Amiel, son of Gamali. From Asher, Sethur, son of Michael. From Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vophsi. And from Gad, Geuel, son of Maki. These are the spies Moses sent to explore the land, and he changed the name of Hoshea, son of Nun, to Joshua. When Moses sent them out, he said to them, "Go north from here into the southern part of the land of Canaan, and then on into the hill country. Find out what kind of country it is, how many people live there, and how strong they are. Find out whether the land is good or bad, and whether the people live in open towns or in fortified cities. Find out whether the soil is fertile and whether the land is wooded, and be sure to bring back some of the fruit that grows there." It was the season when grapes were beginning to ripen. So the men went north and explored the land from the wilderness of Zin in the south all the way to Rehob, near the Hamath Pass in the north. They went first into the southern part of the land and came to Hebron, where the clans of Ahiman, Shishai, and Talmai, the descendants of a race of giants called the Anakim, lived. Hebron was founded 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. They came to Eshcol Valley, and there they cut off a branch which had 1 bunch of grapes on it so heavy that it took 2 men to carry it on a pole between them. They also brought back some pomegranates and figs. That place was named Eshcol Valley because of the bunch of grapes and the Israelites cut off there. After exploring the land for 40 days, the spies returned to Moses and Aaron and the whole community of Israel at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran. They reported what they had seen and showed them the fruit they had brought. And they told Moses, "We explored the land and found it to be rich and fertile, and here is some of its fruit. But the people who live there are powerful, and their cities are very large and well fortified. Even worse, we saw the descendants of the giants there. Amalekites live in the southern part of the land. Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites live in the hill country, and Canaanites live by the Mediterranean Sea along the Jordan River." Caleb silenced the people who were complaining against Moses and said, "We should attack now and take the land. We are strong enough to conquer it." But the men who had gone with Caleb said, "No, we are not strong enough to attack them. The people there are more powerful than we are." So they spread a false report among the Israelites about the land they had explored. And they said, "That land doesn't even produce enough to feed the people who live there. Everyone we saw was very tall, and we even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. We felt as small as grasshoppers, and that is how we must have looked to them." Oh boy. All right, my friends, that is our reading for February 28th. Congratulations, we've made it through 2 months. Thanks for hanging with me. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, take care, and bye for now.